Hi, I'm Carrie Brown, the news director at WTRF Channel 7. On June 14, 2025, flash flooding ripped through parts of Ohio County, West Virginia. It left behind a trail of destruction that changed lives and communities in seconds. 7 News was on the ground and behind the scenes documenting what was happening that night and in the days and weeks that followed. In this special report, we bring you stories of loss, resilience, and recovery.
I've seen cars flipping over and turning sideways. We got cars over on the back lot.
So the cars were actually like flipping
No, they was floating like boats.
It was after 8 o'clock, June 14th, 2025. It was in the evening. We had rain. I mean, you think, well, it's raining again. But the rain was heavy and fast, and there was so much of it.
Oh my God, oh my God.
I never experienced this before.
I worked that Saturday before the flood.
It was a normal day in the Ohio Valley. It was really busy.
This mural is beautiful. This is so cool.
I remember it was a full day of news. There was a Pride Festival going on that day. And there were protests happening that our news team was covering as well.
Not our president! Not our president! Throughout the day, I was working, and it was kind of ironic because I was at an event that was an anniversary of a flood that happened in Ohio. And it was the 35th anniversary of it.
They were remembering the 26 lives that were lost in that deadly flood.
Dawn Grimes, Mary Grimes.
It was a Saturday night, and I got a call from my news director. She said that there was some flooding in the area, and there were some roads closed and whatnot. And I said, well, do we know, is it severe flooding? Are there people injured? And she said she was going to make some calls and find out. So a few minutes later, she calls me back, and she says, there are reports of people missing and some people trapped. And I said, well, then it's definitely time to go in. I drove out to Elm Grove, first of all, and there were some roads closed, but really did not know at the time how bad it was. I mean, it was certainly significant. You could tell that, that it was significant. There was water up over the roads. We did a few live cover shots, and I drove around a little bit. Mainly what I was seeing at that time was street flooding. I really did not know how bad it was. I was hearing different stories. People were talking about cars and underneath bridges and stuff like that. But a person approached me and was talking about the flood, talking about some of the things that they had seen. And they asked me, they said, do you know, have they found the baby? And at that point, I knew this was something bad.
Just hearing that, I think it turned your stomach and you realize that, the damage was just, it was undescribable until you saw it in person.
houses knocked off their foundations, trailers picked up and moved to different locations. It was really an amazing sight. I've been at this for years. I've covered house fires. I've been on murder scenes, but this was probably one of the worst events I've ever seen. Certainly the worst weather event that I've ever seen.
This is kind of a unicorn event because a lot of the rain hit very narrow areas, and there were roughly 3 to 4 inches of water that fell in the area in less than an hour.
The creeks rose pretty quickly. There was a massive amount of debris floating down the creek, debris that most people have probably never seen in their lives. There were boats going down the creek, sheds, furniture, gas tanks, hot water tanks, Connex boxes. It was a pretty unbelievable sight to see.
I knew it was bad because I'd seen, my boss was like, hey, it sounds like there's some debris out there, there's some cars, there's some issues, but it was also dark at this point, and I knew that night, it was Saturday night, I knew I was going to bed. I was like, we're going to have a much better idea of what this looks like tomorrow. Well, once we had the full light of day on it, we knew how serious it was.
I remember we went over onto the bridge and you just saw like 5 or 6 cars littered in the river. You would never expect a car to be in a river, but to see 5 and 6 cars piled up on top of one another, that was a pretty jarring sight to see.
I mean, I woke up that morning and got a text. I remember it was Father's Day. I had a text, and we were on this long chain. It was everybody in the newsroom, like, hey, this is what happened overnight. Here's what's going on right now. And I just read 3 people are dead. There's at least 5 missing. And I'm like, told my wife, I said, well, looks like we're going into work today because they had a really bad flood out there. It was just one of those things, kind of a freak event. It just had an area of storms that just kept training over the same area over a short period of time, and all that water has to go somewhere. And I know that this is, one of those things that happens very rarely, but still, it's one of those things that's very devastating. We're still kind of dealing with it. I'm not gonna lie to you. I mean, I've done it before myself. Like, people don't necessarily take flood warnings as seriously as they should. I mean, you should never drive through water of unknown depth. You really should just drive through fast-moving water. I mean, 2 feet of water floats most cars. 6 inches of fast-moving water floats most people off their feet. 3 feet of water floats SUVs and whatnot. So people don't really take into consideration the sheer power that can happen with that. And this all happens so fast, there's only so much you can really do.
Definitely knew that there was going to be a loss of life based on early reports of missing people and the actual amount of water and damage that we were hearing. Our scanner was going crazy. There were so many things coming in on it, and having a discussion with my photographer, who said that while he was out after he finished doing some filming, that someone came up to him and asked him if they found a child, a baby.
My youngest daughter messaged me and said, Mom, we're flooded. I'm stuck on the bridge. What do I do? And I said, stay above the waters. Keep me posted. And that's my oldest daughter's calling me saying, Mom, the road washed out in front of me. What do I do? I said, get to high ground. It was terrifying, not knowing what to expect.
Everybody good? Good morning, everybody. Thank you so much for coming. We're going to talk about last night's stunning events that unfolded in the city and in the outer parts of Ohio County in the towns of Triadelphia and Valley Grove.
We have major infrastructure damage to roads, bridges, and highways where we couldn't respond to a lot of incidents, so we were delayed in getting there because there was just so much damage. We have confirmed there has been 3 fatalities, and we do have reports of missing persons.
Your friends, your neighbors, your first responders, and people in the community, they're out working very hard to find people. That's our number one task right now, try to identify anyone who may still be out there, because if there's a chance that we could save some more lives, that's what we want to do.
Wheeling Swift Water Team was activated to come out to assist us because they were trained in swift water rescue, which they did. They come out and they started checking cars, started checking areas, started checking immediate areas of people that were being reported stranded that needed help. The flooding got so bad it was moving mobile homes, moving houses. We got houses disappeared here out of town. We got mobile homes. We had some couple mobile homes that had people in them that actually went down the creek, one of which is still missing.
What water could do, it moved pavement.
There were some homes taken off their foundations, some homes relocated to other foundations, and a lot of vehicles, a lot of people in vehicles.
Yeah, little lost for words.
I was fixing dinner last night, kind of a later hour than usual. We had just had our gas company here checking out some things. And I looked out my window, I seen my dogs were looking, and I said, I wonder what's going on out there. So I looked and I saw the creek was incredibly high, higher than it's ever been in the course of us living here. And I screamed for my husband, Logan. I said, Logan, the creek is so high, it looks like it's going to crest. And I was just instant panic. And during that time, I had seen a car just coasting along the creek. And I wasn't sure what was happening. I just knew that the lights were on and there was somebody in there trying to get out. And my heart just went out to them. I don't know if they're okay, and I really pray that they are. We just had to get out of there. We got as much out of our house as we could and ran up to our first floor to get our dogs. And
by the time we knew what was going on, got outside, the water was already halfway up her car. I told her, just get in my truck. Let's just get out of here. The water was already halfway up my truck. So I'm just glad that, I mean, it was just within seconds. We didn't have any time to grab anything. I mean, we have no clothes, no nothing.
Yeah.
Everything that was sentimental was just like that you couldn't put a price on, it's gone.
The wall of water come through the wall, crashed through the wall, went into the bay, and collapsed the wall and took out the back wall of the firehouse.
I was sitting in my chair here, and the lady downstairs come up. I'd just been over looking out the door, and it just started to rain. And she come up and she said, it's horrible. I walked back over there, and that water just came from nowhere. And then no one got up there, and on the trailer whipped around, just came, because it was clear over there. And it just, you can see it if you want, it just came clear around. And thank God it did, because she's pregnant, she'd probably got hurt bad. And so they came up here and stayed. I kept them overnight and everything, because there wasn't nobody here to help them. I was the only one that could have helped them at all. There was 4 people in that trailer, And they stayed in there, and we thought sure they'd get washed away.
We couldn't make it down. We got stranded on 40 and just watched everything unfold. And no one knew where my son was. I heard someone, yelling help, and I almost would bet it was him. My wife did convey to me what exactly happened with him in the house. Travis and her basically ran upstairs, and they had our 3 dogs up in my bedroom, and they were holding each other, and they heard the foundation crack in the house. They said spun like in a 360. They found we actually ended up in the creek, holding on to each other. They got separated and got reconnected, and then when they last separated, Travis' last words from "Swim, mommy, swim." And that's the last you heard of him.
We know that there was a greater tragedy than what we've experienced. And so our heart goes out to those families and people that have lost their loved ones. But, this honestly was the greatest tragedy that we've encountered. And, it's totally left us hopeless, I would say.
Construction everywhere. I can see the concern of worrying about it being condemned because
that's
that
done.
road, that's done.
Well, that's done.
Yeah.
His house is done. They're not coming back.
It's been boots on the ground for myself and several other 7 News reporters as we've been bringing you guys the latest details on this devastating flash flooding.
Houses have been moved off their foundations. Mobile homes have been flipped over and torn apart. Cars pushed into telephone poles.
The main focus at this point in time is search and rescue efforts. 4 people are still missing. If you look right behind me here, you can see a mobile home that has been pushed against the guardrail and that telephone pole, and the remnants that were inside of that home are just scattered about. Again, this is just truly heartbreaking to see the things that the people are going through here.
The city wants to emphasize that these are not an application for financial assistance.
But the good news is nearly 20 successful search and rescues have been completed so far. And a lot of the community here has come together to collect supplies such as water, cleaning supplies, think mops, bleaches, those kind of things, so people can begin the cleanup process.
When you get 4 inches of rain, most people think that isn't much, but when you get it within a half hour, it does total devastation to where it came up 4.5 feet on the walls of the building inside, so it made everything inside float kind of like a rubber ducky.
Well, the first wave, our bridge was holding, and when the shipping containers came down through that were loaded, that second wave, you could hear it echo through the hills.
I had a little angel that my mother bought me about 35 years ago, and I found it unbroken. It's just whole, and how it was there in the mud, I don't know.
We woke up this morning and are here now. With the floods from last night and this morning, we're offering primarily mud out services. There's a lot of mud in a lot of buildings and homes, so we have mobilized some teams to go out and just help get mud out of people's basements.
So all of our inventory, unfortunately a lot of sold customers' materials were in this flood. I did have 3 storage units that are MIA. They were taken away with the flood. That had materials inside.
We have a coordinator called Rachel, who's going to stay on site here. She's going to call the home and say we have a team of people that we're going to send over. We have Will, a driver. He is willing to drive.
As the mutual aid group, we're really built on the idea of community helping community. Community knows what's best for the community, so we have a lot of connections. So we came out and said, what do you need? And started connecting the needs with the haves. We're all very cognizant this is going to be a slow process, so we're happy to come out today and get the most immediate needs met, but understand that this is going to be a long-term thing, but we're here for our community. We're here today and we'll be here tomorrow and the rest of the time. This just shows the power of community. I mean, I literally moved here 3 months ago, and I can tell you that any other community I've lived in does not react to things like this. This is just something special that Wheeling has. This is the power of people that we need to keep pushing forward, you know, whether it's raining and flooding or whether, you know, somebody just needs a little bit of help on a regular day. And that's the spirit we want to keep pushing.
Literally, this same tent with OB Mutual Aid was set up at Pride yesterday. Today, we're here mudding out homes. That's community, just like Polly said.
How many folks would you estimate you've helped so far?
I have no idea. Because here's my thing. You might show up and tell me you need for house A, B, C, and D. Because those people aren't able to get out or they can't face this. I had people walk in and they just stop right where we're standing and their jaw's on the floor. They don't know how to respond when they see that this is behind me. We've had groups that have come. Mutual Aid comes to us at least once a day and fills up and drops off because they didn't have storage for a while. And so I don't have people that are helping. We have pushed out all of our supplies, also pushed to Valley Grove and Triadelphia. So if there's a need out there, they call us and I get a truck loaded up and it goes. So I have no idea how many I've helped.
I'm an outsider. I'm not from here. I feel like this is the heart. This and the Triadelphia Methodist Church are two that I'm going back and forth between. They have every supply that you could think of. We're trying to get garden hoses and squeegees in here now. They have anything, all the resources you could actually imagine, from the stuff for kids, diapers and food, warm meals. They've got blankets, they've got cleaning products. People are coming out here with generators and pressure washers trying to help people out. I mean, this fire department and the Methodist Church down the road is just a pinnacle of what Wheeling is, and they're really stepping up for the community, and it's so great to see. It really is.
I got the phone call that it was coming down this way. So my wife and I happened to be at a 50th anniversary wedding of some friends of ours up in Valley Grove, and we seen it raining, so we headed home. We got stuck. Furthest I can make it is the gas station. So the wife and I spent the night in the gas station. Day is starting to break. I'm probably saying around maybe 4:30, 5 o'clock in the morning. He was able to come through. When I started into the town here, it was like bombs dropped every which way. Whatever you can imagine was either road on the road, tore off the road, houses were missing, totally gone. And then a friend of mine, her name was Patty, gave me a call, and I've known her for over 30-some years. She says, Pastor Mike, what are we going to do? I said, I don't know, meet me in the church parking lot. And to my surprise, we didn't get a drop of water here at all. Parking lot became the central hub for everything. That's where everybody come to meet, gather thoughts together, to get the supplies to go out and start cleaning out the houses. So at any good time in the first 2 or 3 months of the process, you'd probably see 300-400 people in the parking lot.
Well, the church showed up. We were on our way here to get diapers for my grandson, but they showed up out at the trail court with truckloads of supplies. Like, we're talking from food to diapers to shovels, rakes, whatever we needed. And God said, you need to give back. So 2 days later, I showed up here to volunteer. And this is where I've been ever since.
The first 3 months, we fed 1,250 people a day.
For the first 3 months, everything was out there in the parking lot. There was nothing done inside this church. The sanctuary was full of supplies, of You just name it. Anything a flood police were gonna have, it was setting here for supplies. So as time went on, we was able to distribute a lot of them and convert this back into a place when the sun got hot, they come here and eat and spend time and talk and just reminisce. It just become a place here just for that solitude part.
When I got here, I didn't think I would end up still being here today. I figured it would be a week, 2, then we were out. But once you meet people, it changed you forever. It's been hard. It's something I'll never forget, but I don't want to forget.
If this has taught me one thing, those floodwaters might have rushed in, but God's love and mercy rushed in right behind it, and you cannot outgive God.
I can very honestly say we have helped a lot. We have seen homes for our effort and those that helped that we was able to purchase supplies to build homes back together again. We're still in the process of buying furnaces, hot water tanks, ductwork, drywall, whatever they needed. We had an evening where we had everybody affected by the flood stop here in the fellowship hall and fill out a form, their name, their address, their phone number, and what devastation they had. We took those forms, sent contractors out, remeasured everything, got the actual number, what it was, and we went ahead and purchased it all.
How many homes have you rebuilt?
Right now, around 75 to 80.
You know, people say, when are you going to quit? When the food runs out. And I don't think that's going to ever happen.
Meeting people that were like still in need of rescue and being able to help them, that changed me forever. And they still call me today and talk about, remember that morning? Yeah, how could I ever forget that morning?
What you see in this community right now with the responders, the volunteers, the churches, the people gathering together in this community, that's what living on earth should be about.
This community came together for me as an outsider from North Carolina, and the stuff that they got us together, and they were hauling us down every single week. That was just a pinch of what they're doing here now. I mean, they're moving mountains here literally. We've got volunteers with skid steers, we've got volunteers with side-by-sides and track hoes going out here doing all the work that they can from daylight till dusk, helping these people. This community in itself is amazing. And I talk about Southern hospitality a lot. For y'all to be above the Mason-Dixon line, y'all are doing one heck of a job too.
I'd like to say this: we are not in charge. The good Lord's running the show, and we better respect the water. It's the most powerful thing in the world.
Our community has been amazing, and we've all been devastated. And I'm so proud to be from here and see all these people that have banded together.
Something like this happens immediately, and it just reminds you, nothing is promised in life.
And my commitment, through God, I won't stop until everybody's taken care of. To the last person, excuse me, the last person we can help is help. That's our commitment. We lost 9 lives, and those 9 lives will never be replaced, but they'll never be forgotten.